The fight for the 2025 Formula One title is getting intense, and Red Bull Racing is taking center stage yet again. With a wave of hope washing over Barcelona, the Austrian team feels they've finally decoded the formula to take on McLaren's developing dominance. But is it already too late? Or is this merely the beginning of a Verstappen comeback? Red Bull is going into the second half of the 2025 Formula One season with a renewed sense of confidence. Having had an inconsistent start to the season, the team is now saying high things about how they'll be much closer to McLaren from the Spanish Grand Prix in Barcelona onwards. This sense of confidence is not just down to recent pace improvements, but also an imminent technical directive that promises to balance the playing field right across the grid. It's no secret Red Bull has put huge expectations on this directive that's due to come into effect 2 races from now. But lots of people are wondering, did the recent surge in performance already begin in Imola? And how quickly can Red Bull keep upgrading the RB21 to give Max Verstappen a realistic chance at defending his championship crown? One thing is for sure, Red Bull's tenacity in 2025 has been nothing short of remarkable. Something nobody believed would materialize is unfolding. Momentum is coming back to Milton Keynes. The Verstappen fans are sensing it, and so is the team. Even with this restrictive re-emergence, Red Bull isn't putting its all into recent form. In the view of Christian Horner, the technical directive that will be enforced in Barcelona will significantly change the competitive atmosphere, particularly concerning flexible front wings. Addressing the media, Horner was direct. Surely the technical directive in Barcelona will have an impact. But how much of an impact it has on your competitor's performance relative to your own is hard to say. But it is a big change, not a minor adjustment. So it will influence all of the cars, it's just a matter of the quantum. Red Bull's present upsurge could already be a foretaste of things to come. In Imola, passing was harder than expected because of one doctor's zone. But even with that restriction, the RB21 showed phenomenal tyre management, eclipsing the majority of the pack, including McLaren. Red Bull's Lando Norris conceded he was taken aback by Red Bull's speed and even more astonished by McLaren's mysterious tyre degradation. He said, "I believe the only negative of Imola is that we lacked the pace of Red Bull. Max was quick today. Not only did we not have pace, but we also did not have tyre life. What our strongest point was just 2 weeks ago became our weakest point. It demonstrates how quickly it can turn." Red Bull, meanwhile, isn't attributing their Imola success to luck. The team thinks that their recent improvement is the result of a quiet but significant change in the FIA rulebook. The clarification was aimed at materials in braking systems and tyre cooling, where McLaren was reportedly employing phase-changing materials to help control tyre heat. While the innovation wasn't technically illegal, new FIA wording prohibits certain materials and systems, including water-based cooling setups. Whether or not this was aimed at undermining McLaren remains to be seen, but Red Bull is clearly capitalizing on the change. The upgrades Red Bull brought to Imola paid immediate dividends. The team was more confident than ever about improving one of their weakest areas, tyre management. Horner elaborated, "We've been able to get some performance on the car and put it in a good window. When you remove the sliding, you can control temperatures so much better. That was really pleasing." He went on, "In the initial stint, Max was handling more than the lads behind, going very cleverly while still opening up a gap. Friday indicated McLaren appeared strong on long runs, but during the race, we had pace and tyre wear in our hands. This was the first such display of dominance from Red Bull since Brazil last year. Although that one was wet, the dry weather form at Imola suggests a season shifting into a different gear. Looking down the road, Red Bull has already allocated a huge chunk of its 2026 development budget to making the RB21 better. The team's only priority? The Drivers' Championship. Max Verstappen is 22 points behind Oscar Piastri in the standings with Lando Norris in between. But if Red Bull's development curve is allowed to continue in its current direction, Verstappen may again be the title favorite. Let's not forget, Red Bull took the championship last year with the third best car in the constructors' table. It was a performance not seen since the halcyon days of Nelson Piquet and Keke Rosberg. The 2025 scene, however, is different. McLaren's development has been genuine and consistent. One tough weekend doesn't reverse 2 years of work, and McLaren team principal Andrea Stella took care to remind everyone of that. Responding to recent criticism of McLaren car legality, Stella stated, "It's good news when competitors are targeting things they believe are in our car but are not. If they are concentrating on the wrong areas, it benefits us. Even if we did have something like front wing flex, which we don't, it doesn't relate to why we're competitive." Stella is willing to let the gossip circulate if it will keep Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes distracted from pursuing their own profits. But within McLaren, there could be another issue brewing: intra-team competitiveness. Norris at last beat Piastri for the first time since the Australian Grand Prix. But the Brit has been unsteady in qualifying, and in contemporary F1, qualifying is everything. Dirty air and extreme tyre degradation make track position everything. If Norris and Piastri begin taking points off each other, Red Bull could benefit. Verstappen, known for his racecraft and tyre management, excels when rivals are distracted or disorganized. He's already hinted at a new level of focus. You're going to see a different version of me if the car is there. Barcelona could be the start of that change. With the technical directive aiming at front-wing flexibility, Red Bull thinks McLaren will lose their advantage. But even if not immediately, the indications of improvements are clear. There's a healthy dose of faith inside Red Bull. The developments are paying off. The RB21 is finally in its performance window appropriate for Verstappen's aggressive but frugal driving approach. And the team has no intention of throttling development back in 2025. So what's next for Red Bull and Verstappen? Will the technical directive in Barcelona truly reshape the grid? Or is McLaren simply too far ahead for anyone to catch this season? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to click on the next video on your screen to stay updated with all the latest F1 drama and developments.